If someone looked at your life from the outside, they'd probably think you have it all together. Good job, solid relationship, maybe even kids. But here's the part they don't see. What happens behind closed doors when the pressure finally cracks and the bottle opens? Hi, I'm Luke Worsfold, an addiction counsellor who's helped hundreds of functioning professionals just like you and are used to be in the same boat. So in this video I want to share 3 secrets that could be the difference between you taking control or watching yourself lose everything. Number 1. What is a functioning alcoholic? Here's what's actually going on. A functioning alcoholic isn't the person who's passed out on a park bench. It's the guy in the boardroom, the one hitting the target, smiling at the school gates and laughing with his mates down the pub. It's a man who looks like he's got his life together, but behind closed doors, he's struggling. Look, for you, you might not drink every day. Maybe it's just weekends, or maybe it's a few times a week when the stress builds up. But here's the thing. When you start, you can't stop. And that's the difference. I've worked with hundreds of clients like you who are smart, successful professionals, and they tell me the same things. I've got a good job, I'm still showing up, so how can it really be that bad? But deep down, they know something's off. That little voice in the back of their minds is getting louder. It's when your partner finds the empty wine bottle hidden in the recycling, and you tell her it was from last week. She says nothing, but you both know it wasn't. Look, we bury the guilt and shame and we tell ourselves, it's just a rough week, again. Just like one of my clients, let's call him Dave, he ran a successful company. He earned good money, nice house, lovely wife. But every time he hit a bit of pressure, he'd go on a binge, drinking for days, but no one at work knew. His wife only saw the aftermath, and every morning he'd get back to his desk like nothing happened. That's the double life, respectable professional by day and chaos at night. And honestly, it's exhausting. It's like you're wearing a mask all the time and you're holding it all together on the outside, but inside you feel like a fraud. The shame creeps in, the anxiety, the guilt, and the worst part, you think you should be able to handle it. You've nailed everything else in life, so why not this? But here's the real truth. It's not about strength or willpower, it's about patterns. And right now, yours are working against you. And once you get honest about that, that's when you can start to change. So let's look at secret number 2. Number 2, the hidden signs I see in clients. I hear it all the time. I'm not that bad, I don't drink in the morning, I've never lost my job, I'm not an alcoholic. But here's the thing, addiction doesn't always look like rock bottom. One of my clients, let's call him Mark, used to say, it's just wine, not spirits. And that was his justification. He had a whole system worked out in his head to make it seem okay. But what he didn't talk about was telling his wife he only had a couple, then finishing the bottle when everyone went to bed. Or the panic attacks at 3 AM, or the way his wife had stopped trusting any word he said. And that's the kind of stuff I see in clients all the time. Drinking to switch off after work, lying to avoid arguments, and feeling on edge when you try and cut back. Convince yourself it's fine because everyone does it. But here's what's really going on. For a lot of people like you, it's not about the drink itself, it's about what the drink is covering up. The stress from work, the pressure to always perform, stuff from the past you've never really dealt with, like losing someone or your parents getting divorced when you were young. Drinking becomes the off switch and it's the pause button until it's not. And often that wake up call, it rings loud. It's your partner saying, I'm done if you don't sort this out. Or when you find yourself sat on the sofa, bottle in hand, thinking, how did I get this bad? And in our addiction control counselling program, we help you get under the surface. And we use tools like the Disarming Triggers worksheet to map out all the things that are triggering your addictive behaviour, then help you install healthy coping mechanisms in your life. When you finally understand how to turn to a healthy coping mechanism when you're triggered rather than drinking to numb it all out, that's when the real shift happens. Number 3, what needs to change and what actually works? Alright, let's be honest here. If willpower worked, you wouldn't still be watching this video. You've already tried cutting back. You've told yourself, I'll only drink on weekends, or I'll just have a 2 and leave it at that. Maybe you stick to it for a bit until the stressful week hits, or there's a mate's birthday, or work gets on top of you, and boom, you're back in the cycle. And it's not because you're weak, it's not because you don't want it bad enough, it's because you're relying on willpower, and that runs out fast when emotions take over. You see, change isn't about being stronger, it's about being smarter. You need a strategy, a step-by-step plan from someone that's already walked the path and been sober for over 8 years. Takes all the years I spent going the long way round and it shortcuts it. Having the tools and one-to-one support could be the difference that makes the difference, just like it has for hundreds of other clients before you. And that's exactly what we do in our addiction control counselling program. We start by mapping out your addiction cycle using tools like the mental map, where together we'll break down your triggers, what are the cravings and the urges that build up, and what are the stories and justifications you tell yourself. And once you see it all laid out, that's when things really click. You realise, oh, it's not just the drink, it's what you're escaping from. But then we go deeper and we build tools about how to cope, not just fluffy advice, things like emotional regulation, obliterating cravings, and navigating your social life. Now, this isn't about meditation apps or morning affirmations. After 4,000 hours of counselling sessions, I've discovered real-world strategies that actually work. Stuff that fit around your job and your family and your life. Take one of my clients, Sam, for example. He used to binge every other weekend. He disappeared for 48 hours and wake up full of guilt, swear off it, then 2 weeks later he was back at it. When we started working together, he said, I just want to stop messing everything up. We didn't aim for perfection, we aimed for progress. His first win, a weekend sober. Next, a night out without going over the edge. Now he's back in control. His business is flying, his wife trusts him again, and most importantly, he trusts himself. Now look, this isn't about never drinking again, it's about choosing, not being controlled by alcohol. And that starts when you stop white knuckling it, start getting support from someone who's been through and come out the other side. You don't need to give up everything, you just need to take back control. If this hit close to home and you're tired of the double life, let's talk. Most of my clients say they wish they reached out sooner, so if this spoke to you, don't wait. Click the link below to book a free confidential consultation where I help you understand your relationship with alcohol and what's really going on underneath. No judgment, no pressure, just a safe space to start getting your power back. Click the link below to book a free consultation directly with me today.